Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed the last segment with Veriswap, and remember to check out their other services that they want to do now here with in Canada. I'm here today with Darone from Royalty Cards and Collectibles.
What's going on, everyone? How are you guys?
And good friend of mine as well too. Yeah. But today we want to really focus on accessories. It's one of those things where no one really talks about much because it started off with how to protect your cards, right? Yep. That's kind of the whole genesis of why accessories existed. But now we've gone to the point where there's so many different things out there now. Yeah. I remember back in the day when screw downs was like, wow, what's this?
It's something new. Yeah.
And now we've gone so much further and beyond that. And I know with Royalty, like, although you guys do the whole cards and collectible stuff, but you guys really, like, one of the foundations of Royalty was always been in supplies.
In supplies, yeah.
And all the accessories that you guys do. And it's one of those kind of things that people assume people know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then people kind of pick it up. It's like, what's this for? It's like, you don't know how many people still, like, when they see a one touch, I've seen, like, new collectors, and it's like, what's this for? You know, kind of thing. But let's kind of go over kind of like what are the accessories or kind of like essentials, I would say.
The essentials starting
like what are things that are kind of like must-haves or important stuff that a collector will have outside of your top loaders and penny sleeves, right?
So outside of that, I would say your white bins. The white bins are extremely important as well for you to organize all your cards. You know, you don't want to just have all your stuff laid around in stacks and stuff. Put them in penny sleeves, throw them in the white boxes, and you're protecting them to another level without having to spend so much on getting briefcases or top loaders, one touches, and you know what I mean? So you put it in penny sleeves, white box, store it away, and they're good to go. Now, if you want to get more serious and you got slabs or one touches or stuff in top loaders, your nicer stuff, then you get the briefcases, which add another hard layer of protection. Your nicer stuff, not your $2-3 stuff. Your nicer stuff to throw it into a briefcase.
You got to put your PSA 10 somewhere,
somewhere safe. And then outside of that, if you're a Pokemon collector, you do the acrylics, the ETB acrylics, the booster box acrylics, like stuff like this that a lot of people should have if you're collecting sealed stuff. So your acrylics are also pretty essential outside of the penny sleeves and top loaders as well. So I would say white boxes and your briefcases are two of the most important.
Okay, so those are most everything that I guess a serious collector should have in their arsenal to store and protect.
If you're
their
coming
cards.
to shows like this, you don't want to carry your stuff in your hand.
Cool.
You want to protect it.
Awesome. So now it's kind of like we're seeing like more and more crazy accessories. Like I saw an ad, like, you know, they have holders that float in the air and everything. Now it's like, wow, it's like
really
there's a lot of aesthetics tied to it now, as opposed to just surely practical, right?
Yep.
Anything that you want to show us that kind of like, you know, kind of showcase kind of like now the modern day collector, what kind of stuff that people are getting into in terms of accessories or aesthetics of things that accompany the whole card collecting.
So accessory wise, we also have stands that unfortunately sold out today, so I couldn't bring anything to show, but there are stands where you could put your card in, has your name or the company name that you support. You put it on, you could display your stuff on your desk or on a shelf somewhere. You could put it on to that kind of stuff. Another cool thing that we have are pack acrylics that as well are super hot. If you're a Pokemon guy, you put all your packs in there of the pack arts. Your favorite pack arts, put in there and you display it as well, which is something new that they used to have on cards. Just for cards, screw downs or magnetics, triple card. So we came out with the triple pack acrylic as well. So that one you could actually store your packs in there that you do enjoy.
It seems like it's almost like a learned thing that people have to now start understanding with their accessories. Back then, it's kind of more simplistic. It's, like I said, top loader, penny sleeve. Now we're looking at thickness, how much PT this is.
Which it gets really confusing.
Exactly. And now there's almost, would you say there's almost a sleeve for anything now?
Right now there is.
There's literal sleeves. Not just like not a penny sleeve, but there's actually like sealable sleeves for cards.
Yes.
Then you have seals for top loaders.
Yep.
Seals for one touches.
Yep.
Seals for slab cards. Then you have perfect fits.
Yes.
It's almost like it's gotten to the point there's almost like a joke like a pocket for everything now.
Now that you couldn't have said it better. Right now our arsenal of stuff is we got penny sleeves for almost every card. We have team bags for the biggest companies, PSA, BGS, SGC. and CSG, CGC. So we have those, but then all the other nitty-gritty stuff, I think is for the super collector, which I don't think the majority of people here necessarily care about. They want more of the stuff that they could lay around, and then when they get a new card, they could just throw it in, right? Not something that they're like, I need this to protect it in this X way. So I think more of that kind of stuff is like the really nitty-gritty stuff, when we could condense all that and have one product cover 2 items, right? So like, for example, our PSA slab bags hold PSA and CGC CSG.
Right.
Which saves the customer money as well, so you don't have to go buy the PSA sleeve and the CGC sleeve at the same time. We killed it with 2 birds, 1 stone, right? And then our BGS covers the BGS team bags and thicker slabs, because BGS are thicker. So we kill 2 birds with 1 stone with one product to save the customer money. So that's where our vision was how can we make you protect your things, your precious items, for the cheapest amount possible? That's how we decided to start our business.
Cool. In general, not just for royalty, it's like, where do you see kind of where accessories are heading? Because so many things are like, I guess a few years ago, things we didn't think would exist now exist, right? Right now, like a lot of things like bumpers are very trendy with slab cards, or how Logan Paul made it famous having a chain around your card and everything. So there's a whole kind of aesthetic to, once again, it's become a style thing as well too, like a style flex, if you want to call it.
I've seen a lot of people here with the chains showing off their slabs here.
It's almost jokingly, obnoxiously, but it's that tongue-in-cheek humor to that I really enjoy, right?
But it's really cool, because if you get your slab and you really like it, you want to show other people. But if you have it in your showcase or just in your room, no one's going to see it. So wearing it, walking around, it's an eye catcher. It's kind of cool. I appreciate it, you know.
Protect your stuff, though. Like, you don't want someone, you know, to snatch
Make
that
sure
off
no one
your
just
neck.
rips it off your chain.
But where do you see in general right now, like, or things that you think maybe need to be made in the accessory world, or things that would be kind of cool to see in accessories? Because I think accessories are one of those topics that don't generally get talked about a lot, right? But plays such a huge impact. And like, for example, when the whole COVID thing happens, there was a massive shortage of top loaders and sleeves, that it got to the point where no one really talks about accessories, right? So that's why I wanted to focus on this. So what do you think kind of in moving forward of things that you think would be cool and see that happen, or maybe you're making it happen, I don't know?
So we have a couple different things that we are coming out with. I don't want to release it right now, just because we haven't ironed out all the details for it, but it is in the works. But innovating in the accessory world is a little difficult, because we could think of everything that we've already created. Now it's just for us to get market research done. Ask questions, listen to customers. What do they want? We could come out with stuff that we believe is cool, but the end customer doesn't believe it's necessary to have. So innovating in different ways, for example, the floating stands, it's really cool and all, but how practical it is, I don't think it's super practical.
It felt no disrespect to the company makes it, but I was just like, well, I actually use this,
which is a little different. Now, on the other hand, with just your one slab display, it's a little different. You're showcasing your one that you like. The floating one, yes, it's you're showing off the one you like, but how many other people care about it to be spinning, right? And it's also a threat if the magnet disconnects or something interferes with it and it drops, then now you're risking your card at the same time. But get back to your question on innovating something new. We have a couple cool ideas we're coming out with. Should be coming out early next year. But other than that, you really got to listen to your customers.
So no exclusive reveal here?
No, not yet, because we haven't narrowed everything down yet. So we're working on it on ourselves too. We're with all our staff as well, our shop staff, because we just opened up a shop too. So we're listening.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We don't want to just be our ideas. We want the staff, the team, the cameraman, just everyone,
or you guys,
DM us or go on our Instagram, go on their Instagram, comment what you guys want to see, and we take everything into consideration when moving forward on new stuff.
But speaking of that, what would you, aside from the stuff that you're planning to do, what are things that you think should be made but haven't been made that you think would be cool, yet practical, yet let's not get like crazy. The wild stuff, cards that
now that's
that can
really
go underwater or what, I don't know.
That's really putting me on the spot on what I think would be cool. What I personally think would be cool is like, you know how we talked about the bumpers?
Right.
Now, and that's just a generic, you could color coordinate like that. But if you're a Leafs fan, you get a slab mag or a slab bumper with the Leafs logo around it, which would
okay.
be something cool. Now that you got to get licensing.
Like
and
get
all
the
that
licensing
for.
in the for. Yeah.
Or if you're a Pokemon guy and you get a Charizard,
Right.
where your bumper could have a tail at the end.
Oh,
a generic tail.
right.
And it gives personality to your cards. Storing it might be a little difficult, but displaying it would be cool.
It's almost interesting. It's almost like like slab card bumpers or could move to what phone bumpers and phone cases are like.
More or less. Yeah, that's similar to what the concept is. Yeah, that's what I think.
That'd be interesting. What I would love to see is I want to see bumpers that can have like a die cut sort of thing, as opposed to your typical rectangle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If it could have shapes.
Yep.
Of some sort, that would be cool. Going back to the Leafs thing, let's just say hypothetically, like you have a bumper that is like looks like a shape of the leaf kind of thing, or like go about Pokemon cards, it's a silhouette of
the Pokemon
character or something. To me, that could be like it's more like a good display piece, like that, just to kind of make your card pop out
to yourself. Yeah.
That was just kind of like offhand thought. I thought it kind of cool.
Yeah, that's something that put me on the spot. I actually didn't think of that. Like.
I know.
Think about it, come out with it, but no, that was a good question.
Drop that on you.
Yeah, no, that was a good question. Yeah, that was interesting. Though.
Cool,
yeah.
Darone. So please let the viewers where they can find Royalty.
So we are on all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're on all those platforms. Royalty Cards and Collectibles on everything except for Facebook. Royalty Sports Cards. Take innovation from CSC. Honestly, the best Facebook group, best group of guys here in the city that brings the network of card guys together. So thank you for that. We're learning from you guys.
We try.
Yeah, we're learning from you guys. And then if you want to come into shop, see some cool cards that we get, or some accessories that we have that you guys want or want to see, come on in. 3350 Dufferin Street. We are open 7 days a week. Hours vary, but everything's on Instagram and Google.
And if you're still coming by to the Expo tomorrow and Sunday, where's your booth?
We are located right by the entrance. Just make your first right. You won't miss us.
All right, so remember to check them out. Okay,
Awesome.
That'll wrap it up for today. So thank you, Darone, again for coming, and we'll be back next hour.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to our coverage here at the Toronto Sport Card Expo. And today's something is we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. And we have Dave here from Kansan Games. And today we're going to be talking about Pokemon. Because I think a lot of, sometimes over the last few years, a lot more guys are now getting into Pokemon. But now for the sport collectors, because like, I don't understand this. Why has been kind of had the history that it's had and it's still going strong. And you see now much larger presence of TCG, primarily Pokemon, in card shows and sport card shows. So what do you think in terms of looking at Pokemon specifically on the trading card game as a phenomenon? Why is what it is currently?
So I personally think, Pokemon, right? It's, for some it holds sentimental value, for some nostalgic value. For me, a bit of both, dating myself a little bit, but back when I was a kid, playing the very first Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and then finding the Pokemon TCG actual game for the Game Boy Color, right? Like, it left an imprint. And of course, growing up, guys like me, we found, joy in collecting cards, just like how we collected, Pokemon game. And then the other aspect of playing with it was even better, because, you're battling now, but in real life. So the TCG itself just is so appealing to everybody, because either you're a collector or you like playing TCG, there's something for you.
Yeah, because it's funny because when initially when Pokemon came out, I think a lot of people thought it was a fad, right? It was like Tamagotchis and Pogs and stuff like that back in the day, and now it's been like what 27 years now, right? Yeah. And it's a legit collectible that's kind of, not to say stood the test of time. It's not like sports cards for 100 years, but it's definitely planted itself as a staple of collectible cards. So what do you think, kind of, with the popularity now, like what were the things that attributed to now is the continued flourish of Pokemon like collectibles?
I think like this is where Pokemon itself has established itself really well, right? Like either from 27 years ago, right? You have guys who were kids back then, now older, who wants to keep collecting and seeing what's new. Or, collecting whatever was old and now is new again. Reprinted cards. And for kids born way after, they're just amazed by how colorful the creatures are, the variety of creatures you can actually collect. Stuff like those, like, it's just built a really nice foundation. And, for, I guess, guys coming into it, for them, it's like there's so much to collect.
Right.
It's endless, right?
Right.
And the journey of, like, finding certain cards from different eras is a challenge that they enjoy.
I think especially over the last few years, like so many like celebrities and influencers have kind of attributed to, I guess it made the card market boom. Of course, there was the whole COVID boom in general, but you see a lot more people like really getting back into it. Guys like Logan Paul and Steve Aoki and much like you saw like a lot of YouTube channels, content just blow up as well too. So it was interesting to see just it's almost like it had such a huge revival as well too. Like there's always been a strong following, right? I think I saw a Google metric is like there's 145 million people in the world that identify themselves as Pokemon card collectors, and I was like, wow. I'm pretty sure the number is even higher at this point. But it was amazing to see kind of this just this huge growth all of a sudden, and now it's like when it got to the point where Pokemon cards were sold out everywhere. No one could even find products anywhere, and it's like now it's obviously better now, but it was just to see you usually wouldn't see that kind of craze in terms of people bringing out and really wanting to buy Pokemon cards. What I think Pokemon does well is like it's fantastic, and I'm happy with is they really do still focus on the kids, right? The playability of the game, and I think that's one great. They're able to find that balance between collectors and those who still play with it competitively. So can you comment on how the game or the competitive scene is for Pokemon?
So that's the thing with Pokemon. TCG is an actual card game, right? Either you want to be casual or competitive. The mechanics are the same. It's all there. Whether or not, what separates somebody who's super competitive or super good versus somebody who's casual is how you want to play. There's so much variety. You can build, some people like to build certain decks with certain mechanics, right? That some might deem not as competitive or not as good, but the option is there. You can play and have fun. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel like the game itself, as a card game, has survived so long and stood the test of time. Like, it's just amazing because I've seen so much variety within the competitive scene. And there's much more variety within the casual scene.
Right.
Because there's many other formats. Just besides standard, there's also expanded,
Right.
in GLC. So seeing all this coming out of one card game,
Right.
it's eye-opening.
It's like even the competitive scene. Like every time we're at the World Championships, it's a massive event that's even covered by many like media outlets because they make the whole thing as such a big event. It's almost like the Olympics, so to speak. Not of course the same magnitude, but it's so well known right now in terms of yearly all that kind of stuff, and it's just amazing to see kind of like where it's at now. So that being said, where do you kind of see Pokemon cards in the future? Collectability, the game itself, or the community as well too. Where do you kind of see it going?
Well, based on like past presence, right? It will stand the test of time. Anything that comes at it, just because the popularity it has gained and maintained is so strong, right, and stable. As to what comes in the future for the game itself, be the video games or the card games, I think it'll just be just as they've been doing, right? There'll be more added, new stuff that will actually entice newcomers to actually enjoy the game, either be collecting or playing. I think there's a lot of variety with Pokemon. That's what has kept people so interested and hooked for so many years. 27 ongoing, right? Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And when we were talking with Brad from PSA yesterday, it was like it's like nowadays in service submissions, it's predominantly TCGs, really Pokemon as well too. I'm not sure if you want to talk, especially you guys as a store. It's like how popular slabbed Pokemon cards are as well too.
Extremely popular because having that slab, especially at PSA or Beckett, right, is almost like a badge of honor, right? You get that 9 or 10 even,
right? Or
in Beckett's case, 9.5, right? It's a badge of honor. Seeing a card is actually perfect or near perfect, especially older vintage cards, right? Because they're near impossible to find nowadays in that condition with that kind of quality. So I feel like that also pushes people to collect as well, which is good. It's a good aspect. Similar to how sports, you want to find the best card and also get the best grading.
So what would you say to a lot of sport card collectors in terms of who are trying to understand Pokemon as a collectible, or even in a sense like people like say even they don't understand it, but want to see it on an investment standpoint, even, right? Not to make it has to be like about money investments, but how would you, in terms of a lot of like sport card collectors, help understand the dynamics of, I guess, investing into Pokemon cards? Like, a lot of people do ask me, like, I know nothing about Pokemon, but I see that it's extremely popular, and I want to help my my kids, or I might get into it myself, of investing into it. What would you say like are things that people should look into? Like, for example, like sealed product, looking for particular characters. What are the rarities? Like, what are things that for a person who's getting into Pokemon collecting, what are the things that you would say kind of like it's a safe bet, so to speak?
So from my personal experience and just seeing what people have gone after, for especially beginners, right? Safe bets are always the sealed products. Doesn't hurt to have a few boxes or cases put aside, because over the years they will appreciate slowly, but they will appreciate because they will just get discontinued. It's going to be impossible to find, which helps their value. As for single cards, it is sometimes best to look for vintage because they already have such a huge value on them, right? Because over 2 decades and a half of being produced, and
they're established.
Yes. Yeah. So it's better to look for those if you're trying to get something slabbed, or if they're already slabbed, vintage cards. My best advice would be, budget yourself. Don't go chasing something that just has a high grade or looks shiny enough. You gotta do your research, because Pokemon TCG is actually very, very fickle. Where you gotta do your research and see what the popular cards are before investing, because you never know. One card might drop overnight to nothing. You never know because of lack of popularity or the shift in tone. It happens, unfortunately.
It's funny with I'm not sure if you've seen that, but a lot of sports guys, like who are kind of oblivious to which are popular. Even they buy rare Charizards. Yeah.
There we go. Like even those guys know Charizard,
yeah.
Pikachu, even, right?
Yeah.
EVs or the evolutions, right?
Yeah. That's amazing. So hopefully this is coming help a breakdown of kind of helping like kind of a lot of sports collectors to understand that Pokemon's here to stay. And we've definitely seen it every show. The community that's being built, it's like it's a thriving community, and it's a legit collectible. You know what I mean? And I'll be guilty of that early on. I kind of like brushed it off, disregarded. I wished I got into Pokemon earlier. It's kind of, I started collecting when my son started to grow up, and it kind of like, then I kind of got into it, you know, like he got me into playing Pokemon Go with him and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a fun hobby, and definitely it's just a franchise that it's family friendly. There is a huge upside in the collectability, and once again, like it's exactly like you said, the playability is what keeps, I find, the community strong in the products as well too. And it's great that you brought us this insight. So, where can our folks find you on our socials, or talk more about Kanzen?
Yep, so we do have Instagram. You can follow us as Kanzen Games. We're located in Mississauga, 7070 St. Barbara Boulevard, right? Where you'll see us right there across from the LCBO. Yeah, please come on in. We host locals 4 days a week for Pokemon on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. You can check our schedule for any special events. Our website is constantly being updated 24/7.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. And tune in next. We're not done with TCGs. We're going to have Dolly's in our next hour to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And kind of what the appeal is that. So yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! and Pokemon are two different games. But yeah, so thank you very much. Hope that has been insightful on the whole Pokemon scene. All right, catch you later.